Hello, Jim 12's here, and today is the 2nd of April 2026. Today I'm going to give you a reflection on abortion. Yes, a very sad situation we have in society, and it's the subject of my chapter 8 in the book While We Were Sleeping, available on Amazon. Now, I'd love you to comment on this video. I'd love you to ask a question. I'd love to have a discussion with people about this very painful subject of abortion. Okay, so let's go. Reflections on abortion. Now, it may be naive of me, probably is, but I would say conception of a new life should be the crescendo of selfless love. Imagine a loving couple, so in love they want to bring a new life into the world, so excited to do that. Surely conception is the result, should be the result of selfless love for another. But in society, sex has become an object, if you like, of pleasure, and conception a complication. That has an immense impact on the life that has been conceived, obviously. Number 2, related to that, I would say we've got to remember the sanctity of life. We don't bring life. That's God. All too often we equate life with only someone who is loved, and therefore if they're not loved, they're not valued, they're rejected, and we may as well dispose of them. So is there a sanctity of life on the one hand, which should be honoured and respected and protected and cared for because it has been created by God? Or is life simply something that we see if we love it, him or her? The voice of protest has been silenced in our society, hasn't it? The media hardly mentions it, the mainstream media. Politicians dance around it and by and large silence protest. Debate outside a clinic is now illegal in most countries that I'm aware of, and you can't even pray near an abortion clinic. And if you're seen, then you can be arrested. Number 4, let us consider those who've had an abortion. Do we point the finger at them? No. Yes, I believe they've made a mistake, a grave mistake. But let's focus on the fact that we can't change history, and let's focus on the fact that let's pray for their healing, their psychological healing of scars. And to that end, Jodie Pickard, in my book, I interviewed her, she has set up houses of refuge within churches, local churches, to be a place of refuge for those who've had an abortion, the mums and the dads. And I highly recommend that initiative from Jodie, look up Love Australia. Number 5, church leaders, I would argue, should be leading the charge of opposition. They should be out there. They should be getting into the media, using their platform, using their pulpits to bring awareness and bring consciousness of the scourge of abortion on society. But they're largely silent, aren't they? Hence, I wrote the chapter in this book. It's a plea for church leaders to gain courage, gain a platform, and get out there and state their case, the biblical case. What about babies that die, are left to die, after an abortion that's failed? Now, this has come into the news in the last, I guess, 2 years. And thankfully, even though it is gross, it has come into the media to some degree. But think of the nurses, the doctors, who have labelled that organism reject, put it on the bench or whatever they do with it, and it eventually ends up in the garbage. To me, that is a blatant demonstration of what abortion is. Number 7, abortion is murder. Let's call it that, because it's life that is being killed. Is it birth control under another name? I would argue that any intervention in a pregnancy that causes a miscarriage or a stillbirth is murder. The morning after pill was a phrase I heard decades ago. Well, the morning after pill is basically a pill for murder, isn't it? I would argue anything, any mechanism, any technique that prevents conception is birth control, but abortion, let's call it what it is, murder. So let me conclude with a call to action. I would argue it would be great if we all could find a platform that works for us. And it'll be different for every one of us, I'm sure. Here are some options, and there are probably more. Let's lobby our church leaders. Take them for a coffee. Debate them on the question of abortion. Number 2, propose, instigate, launch a house of refuge for your church. Contact Jodie Pickard and see how that's done. Engage in politics. Politics is not a dirty word. What about Wilberforce and his team, who basically took on the world's slave trade? From a Christian point of view. So let's do that. Let's pray for modern day Wilberforces to rise up and take a stand. Sign petitions. Yes, a very little thing to do, only takes a few seconds. Can be done, no, it can't be done anonymously, no. But put your name to something. Join rallies. Yeah, get out there, get in the streets, get outside Parliament. And finally, prayer and intercession. Now, so far, nobody is stopping us doing that. We can do that anywhere, anytime, in privacy of our own quiet time, or in church prayer meetings, or in special 24/7 prayer initiatives, all manner of opportunities to pray for abortion, for the outlaw of abortion. Anyway, love your comments. Thank you for listening. And until next time, bye for now.